guys, did you know that most of the time, the substances that we see around us are not in their pure form? They are basically a mixture of two or more substances. Interestingly, the mixtures tend to also come in different forms. Therefore, there are several types of separation techniques that are used in separating a mixture of substances.
It is possible to separate mixtures by utilizing differences in physical properties. There are different methods to separate mixtures like using magnets on certain metals, filtration, a method that separates liquid from an insoluble solid, evaporation to boil off water, distillation to separate two liquids, chromatography to separate dyes, flotation to capture the substances that can float, centrifuge to collect denser substances, and sieves of mesh for sifting larger objects.
For the first technique, we have the hand picking. But what is hand picking? It is one of the various methods which are carried out in dry conditions. And one example of hand picking is simply picking up and picking out all the unwanted substances or unwanted materials by the use of our hands to separate them. And for better understanding, we prepared an activity just for you. So sit back, relax, and learn. Okay, so here I have a plate of uncooked rice here. And as you can see, it seems like it's ready for cooking. Not until I double checked it by mixing the rice. And voila, you will find some black thing, which are the unwanted substances. And as far as I know, no one wants to eat that black. So we will pick up those unwanted substances by the use of our hands and we'll take it out. So what we're doing now is the process of hand picking. You're welcome.
But hand picking is not only for taking out unwanted substances, okay? What we've shown is just an example. Hand picking is the method separating easily identifiable material from the mixture. It is an ancient method of separation and we frequently use it in our everyday life. So another example is if you want to separate green and purple grapes, then you will simply pick green grapes using your hands into the mixture. And here, both of the substances are useful and beneficial and doesn't need to be thrown away. Some of the advantage of hand picking separation techniques are: it is very simple and easy method. Does not require any equipment to proceed. Disadvantages: it is not feasible for large quantity of substance. It is only possible when substance are visible different.
For the next technique is we have the decantation. The materials needed are
water, oil, empty glass, and spoon. So here are the steps. 1. Pour the water into an empty glass. 2. Pour the oil. 3. Then mix it.
As you can see, when I mix it, the oil goes up above the water. That's what we need to separate.
This technique is what we call the decantation.
Decantation is the process of separating two non-mixing liquid, or the liquid that doesn't mix totally. It is done by pouring out the clear upper layer of the liquid. One example of this is the oil and water. Decantation is used when separating two or more immiscible liquids. Once the mixture components have separated by forming a layer between them in a container, the lighter liquid is poured off, leaving the heavier liquid behind. These immiscible liquids are liquids which are not capable of mixing, just like the oil and water.
Decantation is a process that separates components of a mixture based on differences in density. How decantation works? Decantation involves two steps: sedimentation and decanting, wherein sedimentation uses for gravity or a centrifuge to separate mixture component based on density, and decanting is pouring or siphoning of the top component of a mixture or draining the bottom component. Okay, let's proceed to our experiment. The materials needed are water, gasoline, empty cup, and spoon. Step 1. Pour the water into an empty cup. Step 2. Pour the gasoline. Step 3. Mix it and wait until water softens. As you notice, the gasoline floats above the water. That's what we need to separate. The basic principle on this experiment is that heavier substances sink while lighter substances float.
Next is filtration separation technique.
Filtration is a method na kung saan sineseparate yung insoluble solid or yung solid na hindi natunaw sa liquid. This is when a mixture of coffee and water is filtered. The coffee, yung powder, nag-i-stay siya behind the filter paper, and the water nag-passes and it becomes filtrate.
So this method is called filtration. So the used material is coffee and cup with filter paper. Then as you can observe, isasalin ko yung kape sa cup na may filter paper. So as you can see, the filter paper, naipon yung coffee powder doon and yung liquid na iwan. Parang punta sa cup, then parang sinala niya yung coffee powder. So yun yung purpose ng filter paper. Para maniwala yung coffee powder sa liquid.
Magnetic separation is the process of separating components of mixture by using magnets to attract magnetic materials. That process that is used for magnetic separation detaches non-magnetic material with those that are magnetic.
The experiment I will going to perform is magnetic separation. The material needed are magnet, nails, sand. And this is how it works. The nails are already in the magnet. As you can see, the nails in the sand separated by the magnet because the nails is magnetic object and the sand is not magnetic, so that the sand will stay in the plate.
Based on the generation of magnetic force on the particle to be separated, which are higher than opposing forces such as gravity and centrifugal forces. This principle is used to separate ferromagnetic particles from crushed scrap mixture. Thanks to the innovations of magnet applications, we are able to eat foods and use products that are free of dangerous materials. Magnetic separation also protects your equipment from serious damage by keeping the line clear of hazardous metal scraps.
Evaporation is a technique used to separate out of mixtures. The method derives of the liquid components from the solid components. The process typically involves heating the mixture until no more liquid remain.
For example, let's mix the salt into the water and pour it in a pot. The smoke from the mixture is the water turned into a gas. After a few minutes, the water disappears, leaving only the salt in the pot. The water in the mixture did not disappear. It became a gas called water vapor.
So we have to mix 2 tablespoons of baking soda into the water. And after that, stir it until it dissolves properly and put in a pot and start to boil. After a few minutes, the water dissolved and only the baking soda left behind. But as the water evaporates, water molecules go into the air. The water molecules that evaporate become a gas called water vapor. only the water evaporates, leaving the sodium and chloride ions behind. The sodium and chloride ions attract each other.
And that's all about our report. Thank you for watching!